Facebook never set out to prioritize polarizing divisive content. It just happened to be a side effect of choices they did make. Part of why I came forward is that I am extremely, extremely worried about the condition of our societies, our condition of the global South, and the interaction of the choices Facebook has made and how it plays out more broadly. There is a culture that lionizes kind of a startup ethic that is, in my opinion, irresponsible, right? The idea that, the person who can figure out how to move the metric by cutting the most corners is good. And the reality is, it doesn't matter if Facebook is spending $14 billion on safety a year. If they should be spending $25 billion or $35 billion, that's the real question. And right now, there's no incentives internally that if you make noise saying we need more help, like you will not get rallied around for help because everyone is underwater. I have no doubt that the events we're seeing around the world, things like Myanmar and Ethiopia, those are the opening chapters because engagement-based ranking does two things. One, it prioritizes and amplifies divisive, polarizing, extreme content, and two, it concentrates it. And so if Facebook comes back and says, only a tiny sliver of content on our platform is hate, or only a tiny sliver is violence, one, they can't detect it very well, so I don't know if I trust those numbers. But two, it gets hyper-concentrated in 5% of the population. And you only need 3% of the population on the streets to have a revolution. And I think there's a real thing that people are exposed to data, and then they say, look at all the good we're doing. Like, yes, that's true, but we didn't invent hate. We didn't invent ethnic violence. And that's not the question. The question is, what is Facebook doing to amplify or expand hate? What is it doing to amplify or expand ethnic violence?
You're right. I mean, Facebook didn't invent hate, but do you think it's making hate worse?
Unquestionably, it's making hate worse.